Okay, guys, so now it's time to talk about what happens with variables. So the first thing I want you to do is make like a reminder thing for yourself with a couple of examples. So how do you simplify something like, let's start with something easy. So something like square root of x to the power 6. So square root, you need to understand what is an index of the root. So index of the root would be somewhere over here, like the number right in the left corner, I guess. So square root, you need to understand that we usually don't write that index, right? But we imply that we know what it is. And so whenever there is no number there, that means the number is 2 because it's square, right? So whenever you see something like this and you're trying to simplify it, it's very, very easy. You just take the number you have, so whatever this number is, and divide it by the index of the root. So you're going to get x to the power what? Well, 6 divided by 2. Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's how you simplify it. That's basically it. So if you have this sort of example on your card, then it'll be easier to do this stuff on the test. So I'm going to do a few examples or various examples here from this card sort. So just a couple of ones, and I try to vary like some of them are square roots, some of them are cube roots, some of them are fourth roots, so that, but it's the same idea. Okay, so let's try to simplify something like this. So first of all, we can always separate the root at a multiplication sign. So if this is a times, it is the same thing as saying, well, I want to take square root of x to the 6, and I'm going to multiply that by square root of y to the 4th. So I'm able to go ahead and just split it up. So you can split the root all the time. You can always split it at a product. So if it's multiplication, just split it up. And then you do exact same thing. So remember, so this is index of the root is 2. And so all you're doing is you just dividing each of the powers. So like right here, the power is 6, and I'm going to divide that by 2. So I'm not going to write it out, like I'm just going to do it in my head. So 6 divided by 2, that's 3. So that's going to be x cubed. And then you do the same thing with the y's. So you take the power that y has, which is 4, and then you divide it by the index of the root, which is 2. So then you get 4 divided by 2, and that's just 2. Okay? All right, so that's the first one. Let's deal with the next one. Next example, we're basically going to split it apart. All of them split apart into 3 problems. Okay, and then we're going to deal with each problem separately. Now, anytime you get a number, just go ahead and plug it into the calculator. I mean, you know it, okay, fine, great, I'm happy for you, but if you need to use it, I think I already closed it, but I mean, I know it in my head that's what square root of 9 is, but if you need to use a calculator, just go for it. Okay, so square root of 9 is 3. And then again, remember this is a 2, this is a 2. So you're taking each of the powers and you're dividing it by the index. So you get x4 over 2, that's 2, so that's going to be x squared. And then you do exact same thing. So there's your index is 2, and the power right here is a 10, so you just divide in. So take the power, divide by the index. So you get 10 divided by 2, that's a 5. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now let's look at the cube one. Same idea, exact same thing, split it apart. So take cube root of 8, and then you take cube root of x cubed, and then you take cube root of y to the 9. It is exactly the same thing. So cube root of 8, again, if you want to use a calculator, that's fine, but I know that 2 multiplied by itself 3 times, 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 8. So I know that this is 2. Okay, but use a calculator by all means. Now, what happens with these powers? The same exact thing. So you take each of the powers, divide by the index. So I'm going to get x. Well, what is 3 divided by 3? That's 1. So that's just x to the power 1. And then let's do the y's. So again, this is the index 9. You could divide that by, I mean, not the index. The power is 9, the index is 3. So you're dividing the power by the index. So 9 divided by 3, well, that's going to be a 3. So that's it. Now, usually when you see power 1, you're not going to keep it. So you're just going to write as x. So 2xy cubed is your answer. All right, so this last one has a 4th root. If there was a number in the front, then I would deal with the number also, but there is no number. So, okay, so I'm just going to split it apart and do each one separately. So this is all 4th roots. So they're going to split on the product. So here we have a product, here we have a product. And again, the same exact thing happens here. So take the power divided by the index. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Take the power divided by the index. So you get 8 divided by 4, that's 2. And then you get 12 divided by 4, that's 3. So this is x squared, y cubed. Okay, that's hopefully not going to be that difficult to grasp.